Hello, everyone. This is the Money and Wealth Circle with Nancy, a podcast where we tell real stories, where we talk about money and wealth, and don't filter anything. We are completely unfiltered. So we try to share information as easily as possible and as honestly and authentically as possible. And I hope you'll find that it connects with you in your circumstance and helps you to make better money and wealth decisions. So, as usual, I am my own interviewer, and today I have 6 questions. And the first question is, what is money psychology? What is money psychology? I get that question quite a bit, and many of you that have now watched my podcasts and my videos have heard me talk about the money psychology and how it can sabotage your money game or your wealth journey. And hence the reason why we should all be so fascinated and even obsessed about understanding our money psychology and either reshaping it, rewiring it, and nurturing the right money and wealth psychology. So, what exactly is money psychology? The information I'm sharing with you, as aforementioned in previous episodes, you can actually access this information from our website, serraringroup.com, and also be able to log in into the Money and Life platform. And we have a learn module where you learn about money, about wealth, about budgeting, about foundations of investment, be able to compare products, etc. And you can also download the My Ferrari app from the App Store or the Play Store and install it on your phone or your Apple and Android, iOS and Android devices, and you'll be able to follow through with what I'm speaking to. So, what is money psychology? It's fairly straightforward. I'm going to go into the screen that has this information. If you could just hang on for a minute and I get that right from, yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is part of the money psychology module that I introduced to you earlier on the My Ferrari platform or the Money and Life program with Ferrari that's available from our website or our app, which is My Ferrari. So when you get into this, there are 3 layers of the money mindset, which is about the money psychology, right? So the first one is about beliefs, your core assumptions about money, such as money is scarce. Most of us believe that money is scarce. Rich people are greedy. We tend to sort of justify our not having money situation or not being rich or wealthy by branding rich people as greedy. I'm not good with money, which is something that you convince yourself with a little voice in your head, which could definitely be not working for you, but rather working against you, sabotaging your rich and wealth lifestyle dreams. So the other layer of the money mindset around money psychology is emotions, fear, anxiety, shame, guilt, or excitement around financial decisions. And then behaviors. So behaviors are actions that result from beliefs and emotions, spending patterns, saving habits, and investment choices. I'm sure this is very familiar with a lot of us, but as usual, I really want to put it into context. So when I go on to the next view, the next slide or page, it talks to you about the common money psychology cognitive biases that often work against us when we set out to create our wealth or even understand money better. Number one is the confirmation bias. So we are always looking for information that confirms that that what we already believe about money. If you believe, for instance, the stock market is risky, you'll remember crash stories and know 20-year historical gains that have made people extremely wealthy, extremely rich. This will limit your wealth building opportunities. Okay. So confirmation bias. What is your confirmation bias? What is my confirmation bias? What is that information that I'm looking for to sort of make myself feel better about the decisions that I'm making? And those decisions are actually sabotaging your money and wealth dreams. The next one is loss aversion. Loss aversion. the pain of losing 1 shilling is actually stronger as the pleasure of gaining 1 shilling. Can you imagine that? We remember what we lost with such vivid memories and pain and emotion more than we remember and appreciate how much we have gained. So often, how much we have made. So often, that's why we are reminded to be grateful and have a heart of gratitude. We struggle. I struggle. I can tell you for a fact, loss aversion. Loss aversion is one of my greatest enemies. Loss aversion. So, because it causes us to avoid investing despite long-term beliefs. So we hold on to losing stocks for too long. And I'll tell you a situation that actually happened to me. When I was introduced to the world of investments that I mentioned earlier in one of the podcasts, I was actually introduced to insurance. And it's only most recently that I have actually understood that insurance is not an investment, right? And a lot of the investment products are actually being sold by insurance agents or brokers. And I got introduced to mutual funds. And I think that mutual fund was paying something close to between 4 and 7% per annum. And obviously, what I hadn't read in the fine print is that there are all these management fees. There is, usually in the fine print, some information that often may not be clearly disclosed to you by the relationship manager or the salesperson. So, and also I did not understand my risk profile. I also did not understand why I was getting the investment. I was hoping to actually make a quick buck, as we always possibly do in our younger, foolish selves. So I invested, and I actually ended up losing a bit of money in some of those investments. And this, to a great extent, whenever you introduce to me an investment, I hesitate. And sometimes I will take a bit too long to make a decision, which could possibly, that fear dominates the financial decision. And that is why, to a great extent, we introduce a CRM platform so that you have information that empowers you to make the right decision, as much information as possible. So, common money psychology cognitive bias is one, confirmation bias, the other one is loss aversion, and that one is the sunk cost fallacy. You continue investing in something because of past investment. I've already spent $5,000 on this or 5,000 shillings. Not future potential. So this traps people in bad jobs. I'm already up to invested. So you continue staying in it. It's like, when you're watching movies on Netflix or watching something on YouTube that's more than, let's say, 30 minutes. Like, okay, I have already invested myself. Let me just complete. You don't have to cut your losses quick. Bad investments cut your losses quicker than healthy spending patterns. And you possibly say, I already got it. Let me just proceed and continue with the spend. Sunk cost fallacy. The other one is anchoring bias. The first number you hear becomes the reference point. A salary of $50,000 versus $50,000 starting point shifts your entire negotiation completely. So depending on how the information are framed it's presented to you, you anchor your decision on a particular point. And despite whatever other advantageous information is being fed to you, you're stuck in that one point and not moving forward. Okay. The availability heuristic. Now, what does that mean? You overweight recent or memorable events. So whatever happened most recently, and we tend to do that. I do that a lot. I remember what happened. My husband keeps reminding me, you're just using this one event. Sure. Huh? What just happened there that you're just using this one event to keep reminding me, and everything else, erases all those other good things. You're just using this just one event that just happened most recently. So, another maybe experience with your friends' cryptocurrency success story influences your investment more than statistical probability. So, and that's why data and information is absolutely important as far as, money psychology is concerned, so that you don't get into cognitive biases. But actually, that's a lot of English, quite frankly. That's a lot of, technical language as far as psychology is concerned and money psychology for that matter. What I'd like us to talk about is something that really connects and makes sense for all of us that we can correct from today and commit ourselves to actually making a huge difference. And that is understanding the 5 money traps that destroy wealth. The 5 money traps that destroy wealth that are anchored in our money psychology that we can break today, change our ways, and set ourselves on a path of success, building wealth that lasts for a very long time. So there are 5 money traps that destroy wealth. Number one is lifestyle inflation. But we talk about lifestyle inflation very many times. And most of you that have watched my video are actually calling me about the lifestyle inflation because we all seem to be suffering the same disease of lifestyle inflation. And then number two is instant gratification. It's a trap that destroys wealth. And then social comparison. Social comparison, comparing ourselves with other people and comparing ourselves with people in positions in society that we desire or admire. And that in itself will destroy wealth, does not help you in any way in building wealth. You can learn from people, we can learn from people, but we should not compare ourselves. Then the fear of missing out, formal. I'll talk a little bit about that. And we sort of justify the decision of why we have gone into is a hot investment. We've got into it because it will be a good decision tomorrow. If it is a good decision, if it won't wait, I need to invest now. The truth is that you should actually walk away if it cannot wait. If it can't wait, you should actually walk away. And I've actually learned that it's okay for me to walk away. It's okay not to watch what other people are doing and be fascinated and run into something because I'm fearing that I may be missing out. And number 5 is loss of aversion. The pain of losing money is just as powerful as the joy of gaining it. Imagine losing 1,000 shillings will cause you sleepless nights more than making that 1,000 shillings. Can you believe it? That's the reality. So lifestyle inflation, number 1, the 5 money trap that destroy wealth. Number 2, instant gratification. Number 3, social comparison. Number 5, fear of missing out and loss of aversion. So let's start with the first one, the lifestyle inflation. Well, now let me tell you a story. I had watches. In fact, I have several of them that I bought, really nice ones. I'd buy whether in flight or duty free, or I just love to buy watches and I don't walk into a good, watch shop and buy a nice watch. Then every time I travel, I then see, oh, that watch looks beautiful. And every time when I look at that in-flight shopping magazine or in-flight shopping, listing, there's something that's like, oh, it looks nice. And I keep buying and buying and buying. So I'm coming from maybe one that doesn't have a diamond to a diamond studded, watch or something like that. And then comes the introduction of the different smartwatches. And I'm like, I must get myself a smartwatch. So I actually did get myself a smartwatch. And then Apple came. I was like, no, I must get the Apple Watch, the latest Apple Watch. That is clearly I can tell time from anything I want to tell. I mean, I've got my phone, I've got my tablet, I've got my screen, I've got my TV screen, and I have several watches that I could use, but I still go ahead and buy that extra item. I'm not saying it's all bad, but it needs to be calculated and you need to watch around it. So lifestyle inflation. So if you're taking notes, lifestyle inflation. Okay. And I'll still come back to lifestyle inflation and tell you how most recently I ended up inflating my lifestyle and am having to remind myself, Nancy, learn, apply the lesson. The number 2 is instant gratification. Instant gratification. That which basically the desire for immediate pleasure overrides long-term goals. The desire for immediate pleasure here and now will override your future goals. Okay. Then social comparison. Social comparison. And this one I have to tell you the story, but let me just fast right with you as you ready. Social comparison. Because it really ate into me. This one led me down the wrong path. A really bad path. And then fear of missing out, FOMO. Ooh, this one. I have cool stories. I have multi-level marketing stories. I am sure those of you that have been around long enough might have heard of multi-level marketing. Oh my goodness, Jesus. Ooh-wee. I have been into all sorts of, introduced you to all sorts of money-making schemes. And sometimes it's either because you don't want to say no to a friend. And now with the right money psychology and balance, I've learned how to be firm and be very clear that this is not for me. But earlier on, it was not because I was really that, gullible. It was a lot more that I was, afraid of missing out. Oh, there's all this money to be made. Oh, please, I'd better be in it and be amongst the first. And then we have loss aversion. Because I lost money, I don't even want someone even talking to me about an investment. I have, some negative thoughts about it. Okay, so I'm going. You can read about all this on my Ferrari. Be done with the app and piece yourself and figure out how you can get out of these money traps. But I'm just going to possibly just stop sharing my screen and let's now have a conversation. So let's start with the lifestyle inflation. And this is a trap that has seriously destroyed my world. Totally, totally at one point or the other. So where do I start? Cars. Because I love cars. I love a good car. I love a good car. I love a good car. So I moved from driving a Harrier. But thank God I got out of that. Because you didn't find me in the days of onto a Harrier. Today you're calling me onto a Harrier. So I used to drive a Harrier. And then along the way, the Prado fan came in and I was like, I need a Prado. So there was nothing wrong with the Harrier. I got myself a Prado. Uh-huh. And then don't forget, you also left with the trouble of having to dispose the vehicle that you don't need. Sometimes you'll keep it around and then you actually don't need it. So in between, I decided, oh no, let me just get into a bit of luxury, feel, and I got a BMW. Actually, I wanted to buy an old X5 or a locally used X5, but my husband would not hear none of it. So he somehow got me or convinced me to get a BMW 320i. And all this, by the way, is happening in a fairly short amount of time. So from a Harrier to a Prado to a BMW 320i, and in between, soon after, along there was like, happy sky is too small. I don't enjoy the opportunity, but I'm actually rationalizing. That car could get me anywhere I wanted to. So I ended up getting convincing my husband, you know what? I'm the one that goes shopping for cars because I truly love cars. If you left me to my own devices, I could, hey, get the best car that my money could buy. But I'm hinged. But now that I'm a little bit wiser, I am making much smarter decisions. So I went ahead and started shopping around for a VX, a Land Cruiser VX, and from the BMW. And I was like, oh, this feels so nice. Oh, this is so good. I was enjoying the Land Cruiser VX. Jesus, I thought that was the end of it, and I'd use it and just the things that we tell to ourselves, this is the last time. I promise, just this one, and then I'm going to fix. This one, just this one, only this one, just this one. So then I just loved the X6 so much, the BMW X6 so much. Who also enjoyed the BMW X6 and getting so fascinated about the BMW X6. I said, GLE. Well, hey, everybody has their weakness. weakness, 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 lifestyle inflation. Thank God I have a husband who sometimes will tell me, Nancy, what did we say? No, this is not right. I think we should consider this. And I'm like, oh my God. By the way, I didn't tell you that as part of this conversation, I discovered that I learned nice things and do very nice things through my mother, because once she bought some clothes that I did not like. So I ended up stitching myself clothes using an electric sewing machine that she had bought. I was getting so excited, so I made myself a skirt similar to a piped jean skirt. It's called a piped skirts, piped jean skirts, denim skirts. So I made myself one literally. And she said, you look like a sausage. Oh, not like a sausage. Because I was fitted and packed in that skirt. And I was in high school. I was packed in that skirt and I was getting a little bit plump over the years. So and then she was like, you need to really work hard. Nancy, you need to work hard because you like nice things. So that was the first time that I actually discovered that I like nice things and I can inflate lifestyle. I can inflate lifestyle uncontrolled, unhinged, So I then went to somewhere along the way, I then met my husband and he would tell me, yeah, no. Okay, when we're buying something, I'm trying to get his approval. Those early days, boyfriend, girlfriend, okay, what? Hey, and one day there was a sale at Nakumat Mega. A sale and mega sale. I used to play lawn tennis in high school and table tennis and basketball. I was basically a very sporty person. And those of you that knew my high school days, I was the basketball captain for 2 years, and I really enjoyed sports. And I was there. I competed I was in competitive table tennis and lawn tennis all the way to provincial and competing for national positions, which unfortunately I did not get. But, let me tell you, that day, there was a sale at Nakumatt Market, and Nancy and her shopping retail therapy. I used to spend days in out on aisles. I walk up the aisles at Nakumatt Mega. You need it, we got. So if I thought about anything that I need, you need it, we got it, and it was just a magnet. So I walk into the sale and I go crazy. I'm like, oh my God, everything is calling at me. You see something just calling at you, calling at you, calling at you. I bought a racket. But a racket, I was like, a racket? Oh, but me too, my husband. Oh, so let me buy. Oh, my boyfriend, let me buy. Husband, let me buy an extra racket. So I ended up with, because we're going to play tennis. We're not go and play lawn tennis. We'll go somewhere in Langata, play tennis. We'll go to North Club, play some tennis. So yeah, so we do need, more than one set of rackets. Okay. And I was like, oh, but we can also play badminton. Oh, so I picked badminton, shuttlecocks, rackets, badminton kits. And then there was actually a sports bag for carrying rackets. So I got that too and threw it in. Then I came across table tennis bats. Mind you, we don't have a table tennis table. I went ahead and bought table tennis bats and balls. And as if that was not enough, I went and bought, I don't know how many balls, tennis balls, And by the time I got home, I had to, I don't know how many people have done this, women in particular, and girls in particular. I couldn't open the boot for a couple of hours. I was wondering, I was wondering how to get these items out of the car, how I was going to put them in the house, where I was going to put them in the house, and how I was going to justify. So we were preparing to get married and have a wedding at Don Bosco in Upper Hill. And we were going through marital classes with Father Todd. If you guys remember that Father Tony D'Souza, those of you that went to Upper Hill Don Bosco. And Father Tony D'Souza was part of, the pre-wedding marriage counseling sort of classes that we go to one-on-one. So one of the questions when we walked in was, is there something that you'd like to tell her that you find that she could improve on? and then there's something you'd like to tell him that you think he could improve on. And me being the girl, I was like, okay, let him go first. Let him go first. Yeah, I'm a nice wife, so I come second hand. Go nice, nice, nice. So, so he went first, and he said, she's a spendthrift. That's not what I expected. I expected some compliments and some, maybe a little bit of a few things you can improve on. Spendthrift. I'm like, what? Why? How? He started giving these examples of this particular shopping spree that I had on the rackets. So, this lifestyle inflation did not start today. It started so many years ago. And if you don't deal with it, it eats into your wealth like crazy. So if I look at how much possibly I've spent in cars, and if I had put in that money, even if it is, let's say, a vehicle worth 10 million shillings, let's just do a simple calculation. I'm going to share my screen for a minute, share my screen, and I'll possibly go to the main site, and I'll work it. Remember, I mentioned to you that we have these financial investments calculators that we have on Serari website. That's serarigroup.com. So I'm going to go to the compound interest calculator, and I'll just pick that calculator and say, supposing that I had put in, that vehicle that cost 7 million shillings, 7.2 million shillings to be precise, 7.2 million shillings. Okay. And I possibly put it into treasury bonds that could have been paying, let's say, at a good time, you can get a really good bond at 16%. So annual interest rate. And then the compounding frequency, I'll select annual, it's compounding annually. And the time period, I'm going to say it's been possibly more than 10 years. Let me just say 10 years as of now. Do you know I'd be sitting with 31 million shillings? 31 million shillings. That 1 million shillings, that was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, even if I took a loan and paid it within 5 years, I'd be sitting with 31 million shillings. We put that money and delayed, the gratification of, inflating my lifestyle. 31 million shillings. Did you say that? 7.2 million, that is the starting amount. Annualized interest at 16%. I'm assuming I've put this money in a treasury bond, and I'm not taking it out. I'm gonna be, and as you could see, that the average, even tells me the average MMF is around 9 to 11%. So that would not be a particularly great product for you, but you can go for T-bills. So had I put in that and it was compounding annually over 10 years, it would be a freaking 31 million. That 1 million, I would have earned 24 million in interest. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. The opportunity cost, the hidden opportunity cost, and that's why the richer get richer, the wealthier get wealthy. The opportunity cost and the loss I've suffered just inflating lifestyle. So during this period, I can almost say possibly I've had, even assume that I've even spent even 10 million. 10 million, which is, I can tell you, is a little bit less. It's been a bit more than that. 10 million on vehicles that are depreciating every single day. If I had put in 10 million, start back at 16% at 10, for a time period of 10 years, I'd be sitting with a beautiful 44 million. 44 million. Yeah. 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 And we can cross-check this. If I, let's say, put in, and I'm like, we like to double our money. If I went to the calculator that helps me double my money and use the rule of 72 that tells me how long it will take for me to double my money. So let's assume I have got my starting amount is that 10 million, uh 10 million, and the annual interest rate is 16%. It will take me 4 years to double that money to 20 million. And if I'm patient enough for 10 years and enter into a treasury bond, that's 10 years and above, I have 44 million. And I don't draw it out, I reinvest it in the bonds. I reinvest in the bonds. I'm not drawing out the coupons. I'm instead reinvesting those coupons back into into the bond. So it's very painful. It's absolutely painful. Please make use of these calculators on the on the site, on our site, and let's start changing our lives, and taking control of our lives. So the next other one is we spoke about instant gratification. Could possibly also just apply to the example I've given you, because you want to drive a VX at that you bought secondhand at 10 million. And had I put in that money and waited, today I could comfortably walk in and buy a 27 million shillings vehicle and still have some money left behind, and be driving the latest ZX, which I am not, because I did not make the right, monetization, and I allowed the money traps to actually trap me. Okay. The other one is social comparison. This is what introduced me to bad debt in the first place. Social comparison. So I had a friend called Josie, and Josie, it's called Josephine, Josie. So Josie introduced me to lifestyle inflation. Let me say, not in a bad way. But she also introduced me to debt, not in a bad way, higher purchase, not in a bad way. Okay. And not directly, almost indirectly. A good friend wanting you to also have the same things. So we worked in the same institutions where were computer instructors. And obviously, like, she's making as much money as I'm making. So, or just, she's maybe just a little bit more, almost making a bit of money. So I can afford this lifestyle. Yeah, can't I? Yeah, all right. So I went to Josie's house. She was living in Buruburu. And in her house, she had this beautiful glass dining table. Oh my goodness. Beautiful glass dining table and a TV. And she also had she had a really nice bed, beautiful, nice bed, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And nice, things in her kitchen. And, then I was just about moving from Gashia. I was preparing to move from Gashia, remember, into Nairobi West. And I was like, that's when I was like, hey, when I moved to Nairobi West, I can't move with my tabletop cooker ish. I can't move my great wall TV. I told you guys. So, social comparison. So she was like, oh, this I got from Prestige. Yes, those of you that were there might have heard of Prestige. We used to buy furniture from Prestige, and if you had cash, you buy cash, but there was a lot of higher purchase that was available. So I went and picked this bed and everything that looked like Josie's bed. A dining table looks like Josie's, and she was so happy for me. We would shop together. We would love all the good things that girls do together. But quite frankly, when I look at it, I did not need to do that, because what I later on learned, be very careful about social comparisons. She was actually very much, very well supported by her partner. So she had a partner who was supporting her. Yes, taking on all these risks by myself, moving to an expensive house in Nairobi West. And then on top of that, we're throwing in debt, not that she had actually bought hers, I think, outright cash. And here I am saying, oh, great, I'm sleeping on a nice bed as Juicy, my friend. Ish, social comparison. Be careful, be careful, be careful. Can just destroy your wealth, can just get you on the wrong track of money management. So I want to stop there. I just want to stop there and maybe end with the last one, which is the fear of missing out. I am sure you guys have heard about the cool stories where all of us thought we'd become rich by keeping quails and selling quail eggs. And by the way, I even bought those quail eggs from Nakumatuniga and we tried to cook them. They tasted horrible. Horrible, 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 horrible. I did not know what the fascination with quail eggs was, and all the stories around the nutrient value. I think it's true, but the taste was horrible. It wasn't great for my palate. Okay. But for me, my biggest money trap around fear of missing out is getting introduced to multi-level marketing. I was introduced to selling watches, and I was told, oh, you know, you can actually own a yacht. You can actually own a BMW. These people have been awarded BMWs. They have made, double-digit millions and have been banked. And, um, how much money do you make in your how much money are you paid? That's the way they would start and they'd go like, you know, that's really nothing over a year. Within 3 months or so, 6 months at most, if you're really good at multi-level marketing, you can make that money in less than 3 months, money that you have made maybe 5 years or more. So come, can we start in multi-level marketing? Almost even encourage me to leave your full-time job. I'm telling you, I'm sure you've heard about these Latino stories, South American stories where they're also very real. They happen in this country. They think something is still to happen. So I got introduced into this world of multi-level marketing, and I was afraid of missing out from the millions. So I ended up buying these six watches, gold busy watches. I think some of you remember about gold busy watches. And the secret is actually to get somebody else who can actually buy a watch for herself or himself, and then buy maybe another 6 or 10 and bring in more people to do the same. And of course, it's how a perfect pyramid that is very soon going to collapse is actually made. And by the way, I think I only sold one watch. I ended up wearing all the other watches and giving them to relatives and friends. It was horrible. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. So these things that you hear of, there's nothing like get rich quick. There's nothing like that. Wealth and money is built over time. Wealth, real wealth, requires time. Money speaks speed. When you see people collecting money, a lot of it, don't be cheated. It doesn't mean that they're wealthy. It does not mean that they're wealthy. Do not be cheated. If you see someone driving a big car, don't be cheated to think that they're actually wealthy. You could stand a better chance using the exact same amount of money if you have access to the same. And 10 years later, you'll be sitting in a much better position than they actually do. Way, way, way better position than they actually do. So with that, I just want to stop there and tell you that we need to be very conscious about our money psychology. And part of the money psychology, behaviors, emotions, and the things that actually play out in our minds could actually be entrapping us into destroying wealth every single day. So don't allow yourself to get trapped. Don't allow yourself to get into the 5 minute traps, your lifestyle inflation, instant gratification, social comparison, fear of missing out, loss aversion, fear of missing out, by the way, it can always wait. It can always wait. If it can't wait, it's not a good investment. So with that, thank you very much. It's yet another podcast with Nancy on money and wealth with Nancy. So we hope that you're learning something and applying it. Remember, as you do, use our website to access useful information on product market data to make the right investments. So go to SerrariGroup.com and access market information, real-time market data to make the right financial money and investment decisions. Then also remember to explore the Money and Life program, which you can access also from the website, or My Serrari, which you can download from the App Store or Play Store. And when you download it, take the program, it will help you break every obstacle, break the wrong mindset and recreate a new mindset that will help you have the right mindset psychology, amongst so many other great things that the rich, the wealthy use to be able to compound, to be able to create and grow wealth that lasts generations and generations way after they have even left this world. So please stay tuned, download my Serrari, go to SerrariGroup.com and keep coming here, and let's have honest conversations, real conversations. I tell you my experiences. I tell them as they are. I have been freed of the shame and embarrassment. I'm no longer embarrassed to tell about the stories because now they have become learnings that I am actually applying to create real wealth and build generational wealth for my children and their children and our family in general. So with that, I'm looking forward to connecting next on the Money and Wealth Circle with Nancy, a podcast where we talk real stories, unfiltered, raw conversations around money and wealth. Looking forward to seeing you the next time. Thank you and see you again. Bye bye.